And good morning at 7:04 on this Monday, January 29th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. Here we are on a Monday morning, and welcome you to our program. We welcome Don Hamlet back this morning to talk about Absolute Kubota. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
You've had, 3 weeks off, I guess?
Somewhere around that range, I think.
And
yes, sir.
Here we go to talk about Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main in Lebanon. They have Kubota tractors, hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, RTVs. Some of that we don't think too much about in January, but there's plenty to talk about.
There is. There's lots to talk about. I guess the first thing business I want to talk about is, our store hours.
Uh-huh.
We're open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then starting this Saturday, going through Thanksgiving, we will be open from 8 a.m. until noon.
Right. So you picked up where you left off about Thanksgiving.
That's right. We'll get back in there and get to it.
Yes.
Yes, sir. We've got lots of things going. Kubota still has all of their 0% financing. We've got lots of good equipment right there right now. We can get you fixed up. Got the tractors. I know it is January. It's a little bit early, but, we've already had a little bit of activity, especially with our commercial guys already looking at lawn care equipment, the zero-turn lawnmowers. We do carry Kubota, Exmark, and Hustler. We sell and service all of those and have parts for everything. I would urge everyone, if you know it's getting close to the mowing season, go ahead and bring your mower on in because we don't need it today. But there's going to be a day in April sometime or another where, everybody's going to need their lawnmower. So if you go ahead and get it on in now, there won't be any delay, when the grass is growing. So,
well, I think you've had a special. Is that special still good?
I'm sure that they would need to talk to Clint in our service department about that. They can call him at 615-449-6171. There have been some specials to urge to try to get the traffic on in and get people to come on in early, like I said, instead of waiting. But, that would be a great idea.
And if you don't want to go to the telephone, you can always try the website, www.absolutekubota.com. And if it's still going, you'll probably have it right there.
It will be. It's a great resource. We try to do a thing or two or three each week on Facebook, just to have some little blurbs on there so everybody can see what's going on and seeing what we've got offering. Those RTVs that you and I like to talk about, we have several of those in stock, anywhere from the little 520 gas, the 850 gas, on up through the 1100 series cab units. The 1140, which I always say is, it's probably our most popular unit. It's the one that can go from a two-seater, with a large bed, or you can convert that bed down and then have more rows of seating. You can be a four-seater. Mm-hmm. So, it's great units. They have electric over hydraulic dump beds on those or diesel engines on those bigger units like that. So we've got those in stock and everything's ready to go.
Well, they are popular items, and people use them. They're such a versatile piece of equipment, if you want to call it equipment, such a versatile thing.
No, it is. I mean, it's great, like I always talk about, for hunting. I like hunting in the winter, so it's perfect for that. It's great for just going around your farm, checking on fences, counting cows. I know a lot of people, do a lot of calf dropping this time of the year. It's just a great piece of equipment to be able to move around.
Well, now, do you have the same kind of financing on it as you do the
Oh, yeah. Now, there's different terms on different pieces of equipment. Some of our L series tractors and BXs, we have 0% for 84 months. Uh-huh. We still have lawnmowers right now. You can get some of the 700 series of lawnmowers 0% for 60 months. So all you're paying for is just the lawnmower and the taxes itself. All of our equipment, if you have a Tennessee State Farm sales tax exemption, all of our equipment qualifies for that. So you could buy a brush cutter, you could buy a lawnmower, tractor, RTV, no sales tax.
Sales tax exempt.
Sales tax exempt. Oh, yeah.
Because on some of these, you're talking about several $100s.
Oh, several $1,000s on a bigger tractor. If you have a farm sales tax exemption, right, that qualifies. Just, word out to all of our hay guys. A lot of those applied for their special rebates this year. Those were granted back in December. I know the other day I walked through the service area and they were back there setting up some disc mowers and stuff. So we've got disc mowers, any kind of hay equipment, rakes, tedders, balers. If you guys want to go ahead and come in now and start talking about that and thinking, seeing what you want to do, maybe trade in an old unit. We've got stuff ready to go.
What do you do with what's traded in?
We just sell it to other people. So some people just don't like buying new equipment. We have some areas that sometimes we just wholesale stuff out. A lot of times we always just try to get you your best value for your equipment that we can. It's that much more that you don't have to pay for.
All right. Well, just remember they've got everything from weed eaters to hay balers.
That's it.
And you still, what is this you said? You'll never use a wheelbarrow if you have what?
A loader on your tractor. You'll never need a wheelbarrow ever again. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, then you've never used a wheelbarrow. So.
Oh, Don, always good to see you. I guess you'll be back next Monday.
See you next Monday.
All right. Well, have a great one, and thanks for being with us today. Don Hamlet, Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main, 615-449-6171. 10 minutes after 7 o'clock. And it is my pleasure to introduce State Representative Susan Lynn, who's right here live in studio this morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Coleman.
It is good to see you, good to have you, and good to be able to talk to you about what's going on in the state legislature. It got so bad 2 weeks ago, you just shut down.
I am so sorry. I played hooky. I'm sorry.
It was probably not
hooky.
been that big a problem for you and Representative Clark Boyd, Senator Pody, those here, and maybe adjoining counties of Davidson to get there. But some people who have to travel maybe as much as 200 miles, it's quite something. So
yes, and also to be away from their families all week.
Yeah,
I really can't imagine that. My home door to door to the Capitol is 17 miles. I am so grateful for that.
Yeah,
it's not that far of a drive. In fact, I take Hermitage Pike. I take Lebanon Road.
Bring us up to date as to from your perspective what's transpired so far since we had the opening.
We still are in the process of filing bills. The filing deadline is on Wednesday. So there's a lot of people going around talking to each other, sharing ideas. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? And that's always a lot of fun to get input from other people and hear what they think, because you haven't filed the bill yet and you can always amend your bill in order to add someone's idea and make it a better bill. So that's always a lot of fun. So that's basically what we're doing. Some of the committees have met. Finance Committee has met a couple of times, and we have heard from our Commissioner of Finance and Administration on a number of different issues. And one is, funds are down, definitely. And then we have also heard from different departments on various reports that were done while we were out of session. Mm-hmm. So when we come back into session, before we really get down to our work, this is a good time to hear those reports and learn the answers to the questions that we asked and get the data. So I really enjoy this time of year and hearing from these departments.
Well, I think we have a deadline for filing bills, right?
We do, Wednesday.
Have you filed any, or you got any yet to go?
I have. I've filed quite a few, and I am still working on a couple, just trying to get the language right. So, and working with other people, because there's some bills, they sort of go hand in glove with each other. So we can't, we can only file 12 bills. Mm-hmm. So what you might need to do is, talk to colleagues and say, okay, you're filing this, they're filing that part, I'll follow this part. So those are things that we're doing, things like that.
How difficult a session do you anticipate? Things going to sail through? We're going to get through early. I know it's an election year, so that enough said there that we probably won't be as long as we might be were it not an election year.
Well, I have to tell you, it's going to be a tight budget, so we will get out quicker. When there's a lot of money, it actually takes longer. When it's a tight budget, we will get out quicker.
Why is there less?
Because there's only, so many ideas that you can afford to do, new ideas. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to find things where areas to trim down because we know what funds were reverted from last year where they did not need this or that. So those reversions are often a key on where we can cut the budget. And then, of course, some people will have ideas on things that we don't need to do anymore, either because the federal government changed their law or maybe there's a bill out there we're going to do things differently. So those things are often, they're really poking up and you can really see them very easily.
Okay, with that, let's take our break. We'll have more with State Representative Susan Lynn in a moment here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford, get a battery installed in most vehicles. $149.95. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Wrapping up an earlier wreck on Ellington Parkway right near Briley Parkway. Traffic's really starting to build 24 westbound up through the Hickory Hollow area, coming in right now from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, headed up through Antioch. 65 south, also running slow up in Millersville. Looks like there's been a minor crash up there, slowing down that traffic flow as you travel through that section of Sumner County on 65 going southbound. Prince's Hot Chicken has you covered for the big game with catering. Check out that menu today at princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hey, this is Dr. Derek Gregory, and I'm proud to announce to you the opening of our brand new dental practice, Gregory Dental Group, at 1746 West Main Street, just across the road from Sports Village. Come experience modern dentistry at its best. We're always welcoming new patients, and I truly look forward to taking the best care of all your dental needs. Come by or call us today.
That's Gregory Dental Group, 615-444-0322, or online at myLebanonTNDentist.com. Gregory Dental Group, compassion, knowledge, skill.
We continue here on a Monday morning. State Representative Susan Lynn is with us. We were talking potholes during the break. That has, when we have weather like we had, and it gets freezing and so on, I mean, it does damage to the roads. And I don't know how much scraping the snow off has to do with it, but we just know whenever it starts raining, their potholes are going to appear. They have. And there's some people who have suffered some damage because of that. But the state wants to hear about it, I understand.
Oh, absolutely. There is a phone number for citizens to call for a TDOT maintenance request. Now, remember, this is for the state roads. The local roads would be the city or the county. Mm-hmm. But for the state roads, you can call 833-TDOT-FIX. That's 833-TDOT-FIX and report a maintenance request. It doesn't have to be a pothole. It really could be anything. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes I know there's just one area in the other end of the county where this little piece keeps breaking off on the side of Central Pike, but we're gonna take care of Central Pike very soon. We're gonna widen that. But I tell constituents when they call me about something like that, I say, look, I'm going to report it from my end. You report it from your end, and then we've really got it. They know that that's on the list. And believe me, you're not bugging TDOT. They need to know where these repairs are needed. They need to know because there's a lot of road out there. And so this is helping them a lot. A couple of weeks ago when we had the Snowmageddon, there was a terrible pileup in Nashville with tractor trailers. And so it was all hands on deck for TDOT to get, their workers in there to help clear all that up because the highway was closed. So that delayed snow clearing in our part of the county. So it was just a labor issue on these state roads. And I called them and they said, oh, Miss Lynn, we know we are getting there. That's that pile up. We just needed all hands on deck to help clear that. And then they got out there and they started clearing that snow for us. So we appreciate them and how hard they work. It's cold out there and they work very hard.
They are priorities.
Yes, absolutely. And they really do work hard and they care very much and they do a great job. So we appreciate them.
What are you hearing anything, rumors maybe, things leaking out, what the governor might propose in his budget, what he's going to be really asking the legislature to do?
Right. Well, like I said, it's going to be a lean budget year, so I don't expect a lot of proposals. We all know that he is very keen on his voucher proposal. I'm actually having dinner with the governor tomorrow night. The governor invites us in small groups to have dinner with him at the mansion. So tomorrow night's my night. And I do expect that he will be talking about some of his ideas and some of his proposals. So at this dinner. And then also he wants to hear our ideas. And, it's really a great evening to be able to sit around and talk about these things and let him know what the people in our districts are saying, what's important to them.
Well, we've had some discussions here on this program regarding the vouchers, and I know some of our educators are not too keen on that, and some are just diametrically opposed to the idea. Where do you stand on that?
A few weeks back, it was early December, I went to a conference. It's ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council. I'm on the board of directors there. And that's our annual winter conference. And at that conference, right now, West Virginia was the first state in the nation to pass statewide vouchers. And that was only about 4 years ago. Since that time, I think we're up to about 15 states that have passed statewide vouchers. And the innovation in education that is going on is absolutely a wildfire. It's amazing. And even in our public schools, the innovation in education that is going on. One of the things that we learned about, my colleagues who live in very rural areas say, we don't have other schools here. We don't have private schools. We don't even have homeschooling groups. Vouchers won't help my people. Why should I vote for vouchers? Well, one of the things that are just a grass fire in other states, just growing everywhere, are called micro schools. And that's where maybe 2 or 3 teachers, 4 teachers get together and they create their own school. And their school oftentimes has a particular focus. Some of them might have a Christian focus. Some of them might have a sort of an FFA focus or 4-H focus. Some of them might have a STEM focus. And these micro schools, last year alone, the Christian micro schools across the country, 260 opened up. 260. And that's just the Christian micro schools, not including the other micro schools. It's allowing teachers a lot more freedom, a lot more innovation, and they're extremely excited about it. They're excited about teaching again. But one of the things that you really hear too is that in the public schools, teachers are finding more freedom and that ability to teach as they want to. Don't forget, these are highly educated people, and our teachers are. And sometimes, I'm not saying this is in Tennessee or all, but sometimes the administration is telling them how to teach. You're going to use this program. You're going to use this online tool, whatever. This is what you're going to do. And they feel very restricted. And from what I heard at that conference is that those things are being loosed from them, and they're being able to teach again, and that creativity and that love of teaching, it really sets your heart on fire. I have the heart of a teacher. I love teaching. I'm not a teacher, but I teach people things in my job, and I've taught Sunday school, and it's just something that's in your heart. I can't even explain it, but I guess it's the sharing. It's just seeing the look on someone else's face when they have that understanding. It's wonderful.
What do you think will be the end result? Or you have really any idea? This is some sort of legislation is going to be presented regarding this.
Yeah.
And we are pretty much, well, no question, it's a Republican-dominated legislature. If they are sold on this, that's probably going to pass. But what do you think?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, it's a lean budget year. Vouchers is an expensive proposal. It's a very expensive proposal, right? So I don't know. I don't know where it will go. It's just hard to say. It really is hard to say. It really is.
Well, I know Jeff Luttrell, our director of schools here, has spoken about this, and he is about this and maybe some other proposed things. He is afraid public schools are going to get hurt, and he is very concerned about that. And I'm sure you share that concern.
And I can understand that. I can understand that completely. In fact, Senator Pody, Representative Boyd, and I had a meeting with Mr. Luttrell, and I think I stayed the longest. I think I was probably there, I don't know, 2 hours or maybe 2.5 hours. I'm not sure. But we talked about all different things. And I just so appreciate him. I so appreciate him. He has a lot on his shoulders. He handles it well. And he's just looking out for the best of the district. And I just totally appreciate him.
Okay. We got about 5 minutes left here today. You mentioned that you're working on some legislature. Anything you want to talk about that you're probably going to introduce?
I have a lot of bills in the works, and they're very diverse. So let me talk about this one because I asked the governor's office about it, and they like the idea. A constituent wrote to me, and they asked me about people 62, in other states, 62, people 62 and older can take one free college course a year at a state college. And so they asked me about this idea for Tennessee, and we got talking about it. And what we boiled it down to is it would be a very nice idea if we could marry that with maybe some service at our K through 12 schools. So maybe if you get one free credit, 3-hour credit course, spend 3 hours a week in a K through 12 school, maybe being a teacher's aide in the classroom, maybe tutoring the kids, helping them with reading or math or whatever. Marry that together. And the governor's administration, they really like that idea. I've talked to some of my colleagues about it, and they like the idea too. So it would be an offering. If you want to take advantage of that offering, we would just love it if you did.
Are there that many people that want to do that to further?
I don't know, but probably they are people who maybe live near our state colleges and community colleges. Maybe they live in the vicinity and they hear about something and they think, I'd love to do that. It's expensive. So we'll see. I'm going to file the bill and we'll see what we think.
Well,
our colleges have to opine on this. So
how big is the transportation issues to you? I know Senator Bodie's talked about this several times, and he's been here. He's wanting to find out more, to have more money for TDOT. I'm thinking that they got $2 billion. He's wanting another $1 billion to help them get over the hump here.
Yeah, actually, last year we gave them $3 billion. And it was so funny. Before session started last year, I was going to propose giving them $2 billion. Well, then the governor comes out and says $3 billion. And I thought, well, he trumped me. Wow. So, transportation issues are tremendously important to me. It's like probably the number one state issue in my district is transportation issues. There's so many projects that we want to get done. And people also need to understand, boy, does it take a long time to develop these projects. There's just so many different stages of them. So it takes a long time to develop them. Funding them is paramount, absolutely key. So having that funding is important. So I hope part of the governor's speech will be that he is going to add more money to TDOT. Our gas taxes only raise a little over $1 billion a year. The federal government has actually given us less money than they have been giving us in years past. I mean, less money. I'm not talking with inflation, less money. And that's been a huge issue for us in TDOT. Having that extra $3 billion directed towards the TDOT road fund last year was extremely helpful, and I hope we do it again.
Well, we got about a minute. You're meeting with the governor, having that's got to be interesting. That's over at the governor's mansion, right?
It is. Yeah, it's lovely.
So that will be good tomorrow night. But what else is happening this week?
Well, let me just say, I saw Jay White last week with the auctioneers. The auctioneers came down and got to introduce them on the floor. That was a lot of fun. A lot of the local groups are making their plans to come down. Yeah. And listen, anybody out there listening, if you want to come down, call my office, call Representative Boyd's office, Senator Pody's. We will set up a day for you, and you will have a big time. You'll just love it, and you can ride the train down, ride the train home. It's really fun. We are so blessed to have the train in our district. All of our colleagues are so envious that we have the train to Nashville. I cannot tell you, everybody wants a train to go out to their district.
Well, it's been nice to have you with us today. Our time is up, but we'll see you in 2 weeks if all goes well, and we'll know a lot more in 2 weeks, I'm sure.
We will. Thank you.
State Representative Susan Lynn, and that's part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it in for more, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford, and that regular oil change, $39.95, up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, $17.80. Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We're looking at an accident being cleared over here before you get into Two Rivers on Briley Parkway northbound. It's going to be near Lebanon Pike. It's loading up pretty good now on 24 West coming up through Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, headed towards Antioch. Already some heavy traffic on 840 in Paytonsville there in that section of Williamson County. Still slow. 65 southbound down through Millersville as you come down through that section of Sumner County. They're trying to clean up a wreck out there in Clarksville. 24 East headed towards Nashville. It's got traffic slow around the 4-mile marker. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services in Middle Tennessee. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out, tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Get a great deal on select Kubota equipment, the #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience in the U.S. The versatile lineup is built to help you make the most of your land. Right now at participating dealers, bring home select BX and L Series tractors for 0 down, 0% APR for 72 months. Now through March 1st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer.
Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main, Lebanon.
Calling all Cumberland baseball fans, this is Randy Salas with Cumberland University Baseball. Believe it or not, the college baseball season is just around the corner as the Cumberland Phoenix open the 2024 season on February 2nd in Florida. But before that, be sure to join me, Coach Ryan Hunt, and Cumberland senior Tim Hollick for Batter Up, our season preview show on Tuesday, January 30th at 7:05 a.m. on the Coleman and Company Show. We'll talk about last year's national playoff run and discuss the outlook for this year's team. Don't miss it, January 30th at 7:05 on the Coleman Show. Batter Up.
It's tax time, and Cars Unlimited Tax Service is locally owned and has 33 years of experience in preparing taxes. They do upfront loans of $250 to $6,000. They're also an authorized IRS e-file provider. Call 615-449-2955 or stop by 1006 West Main Street in Lebanon. Cars Unlimited Tax Service stands ready to help you prepare your taxes.
Entering into your Monday with partly sunny skies, a high of 47 overnight, mostly clear, low down to 31, mostly sunny and 56 for Tuesday. Wind gusts beginning to pick up. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. Let's look at your forecast. I'm Stormy Clausen.
Troops are coming
And
in.
we welcome you to part 2 of Coleman Company here on a Monday morning. Gail Hall joins us to talk about the Farm Bureau Expo Center. Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to have you with us, and the weather's a little bit better.
A little more temperate. That's correct. I'm really glad. I'm kind of over the snow ice concept.
Yeah, I was telling you before we came back on the air here, you had a nice crowd, a lot of cars in the parking lot, I know Saturday.
We had a huge crowd in the parking lot all weekend long, actually. We had it was a dance competition, and they have been with us since the beginning of the expo. So it was really nice to have them. They were a very well-oiled machine, and I can tell you that we probably had close to 7,000 people again this weekend as we did the weekend prior.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Regardless of the weather.
Regardless of the weather. That's right. They came out for the RV show too. So that was amazing. Yeah. And I think I mentioned last week, I looked at the numbers for last year. We had about 391,455 people came through the front doors at the expo last year. So, granted, part of that is a number from the fair but not all that traffic. Well, obviously not all the fair traffic comes through the front door, but there's some of that in there. But I was pretty excited to hear that. And the year prior, it was about 370,000. So, the numbers are going up, and the shows there's always fluctuation and there's always staples. So glad to have them all.
All your weekends just about for the next maybe even 2 years taken.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. If you want to come, you need to come earlier in the week.
Well, it's always funny because people's like, we'd like to have this show. We should really talk to you about that next year. I'm like, no, you really need to talk to me about it now. Because, it's just trying to figure it out. That's particularly the main exhibit hall. South Hall has a little bit more flexibility than the main exhibit hall. But just the variety of shows and the reach that we have. Several of our shows, I did a heat map to see where they were coming from. They're coming from all over the United States. And we've had multiple countries represented in coming to shows. So the word's getting out there. And I've said this before, the state offices downtown are actually choosing to bring their meetings to the expo, which makes me very happy because they're coming out of Nashville.
Well, I think you have been very competitive price-wise.
Correct.
I think you have been very competitive, if you want to call it competitive, in the service that you give. You continue to get glowing reports about how cooperative and helpful that you and your staff are with people who come.
That is the number one feedback that we get from our clients, and we always reach back out to them. There must be at least 10 touch points throughout that booking process and the follow-up process, and just how are things, what do you need to know. And I'm now telling them how many people they had in the building during their event. We're trying to give them more for their buck that they're spending with us, and the service is just, it's unsurpassed from what we can tell because of what they're saying.
Well, one other thing, let me discuss this quickly here, but how has inflation affected you and your price and your service?
We haven't raised the price in probably about a year and a half, maybe 2 years now at this point. I'd have to go back and look. I do see the expenses going up, but I'm also seeing our income being steady. So we had $178,000 above our expenses, because what a lot of the people don't realize is the money that we make pays for our salaries, pays for the operation and the maintenance of the building, and everything above that is pretty much gravy. Mm-hmm. And that to say that we got $178,000 last year above all of that is definitely it's a positive for the county, because not only that, what we have is gravy. You can see it in the hotel motel tax. You can see it in the sales tax. You can see it in the gas tax. So we're contributing to the county. That's the important piece of what we're doing. And we're also carrying our own weight.
All right. Always good to have you. We'll do it again next Monday. Have a great week.
Hey, you too.
We'll learn more next time.
All right. Sounds good. Right. Have a good day.
Gail Hellam, Director of Marketing and Events for the Farm Bureau Expo Center. And that takes us to about 22 and a half before the hour. We've got a very interesting program here on part 2. And we're going to find out something that only a few people know. We're going to reveal a secret this morning, so you want to stay with us. Let me first introduce to you Chelsea Nice, who's president of the Kiwanis Club of Lebanon. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
And how are you?
I'm well today.
Well, you're smiling, just like you had a secret you can barely hold.
I'm excited. I'm excited to finally share. This is now the second year that I've been involved with the Kiwanis Celebrity Roast, and people start bugging you right around the November, December timeframe whenever we're like, for sure, we're going to bring it back. And then, who's going to be the celebrity? You got to listen to Coleman.
Well, for those who, but I don't know in advance either.
No, sir.
I don't know right now what you're about to reveal. So a lot of people might not believe that, but it's true. Years ago, when Stratton Bone pretty much decided, with some help, who the roastee was going to be back when it was done differently, when the library actually did this. Sometimes he would tell me and I would know, but he is the only one who's ever told me that I remember, and that's years ago. It's all a big secret. But introduce the others who are with us this morning.
For sure. So I'm Chelsea Nice. I'm currently president of our Kiwanis Club of Lebanon. And then with me, I have two of our wonderful members. I've got Melinda Bounds and Ryan Woodall are our co-chairs for the Celebrity Roast this year.
Well, ladies first here. Melinda, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It's nice to have you with us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure
Known you
to be
for
here.
a while. Of course, you have an affiliation with Cedarstone Bank, one of our good advertisers here. So we'll give them a little word here. And Ryan Woodall with First Freedom.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about you. Well, Melinda, you've been here.
Sure.
Ryan, I don't recall you being on Coleman and Company before.
Yeah, that's correct. This is the first time I've been on your show, and very happy to be here. Hopefully, this won't be my last. But
what do you do at the bank?
So I'm assistant vice president loan officer there, and I've been at First Freedom since 2019. I'm a long-time resident of Wilson County. Graduated from Friendship Christian School and then went on to Tennessee Tech right after that, and then came back here and started working. And my wife's a teacher here in town, and we're very blessed to live in such a great community.
All right, so the two of you are the co-chairs for this event, for the roast.
That's correct.
What's the official name of this?
The Kiwanis Celebrity Roast.
Kiwanis Celebrity Roast. When's it going to be?
So it's going to be March 26th of this year. Doors will open at 5:30. It's going to be at the Capitol Theater. We've had that there the last 2 years, and we're very excited to continue that relationship with the Capitol Theater. We love to have the event in the heart of Lebanon, so we're going to continue that. Like I said, the doors open at 5:30. Dinner will be at 6, and the show will be at 6:45.
All right. Somebody wants tickets. I guess tickets go pretty fast, and the Capitol Theater only holds so many people.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's right. You can go online and order tickets at KiwanisLebanon.com.
KiwanisClubofLebanon.com.
Right. You can order tickets. And they're $65 a ticket. You can buy a table for $550, or you could be a sponsor with a table for $750. So.
Well, I don't know if this has been a total sold-out event the last 2 years, but there's been a full house. I think I've been to both, and it's very well attended. And again, the fire marshal says this many and so more. So you're no doubt hoping to have a sellout.
Yes, absolutely. It's sold out the past 2 years that we've had it. And then we've got 25 tables with 8 seats at it and at each table. So once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah. The easiest way to go ahead and do this would be to do it online?
Yes, unless you wanted to buy a table, and then you can just reach out to one of the Kiwanians, and we'll be happy to sell that to you, of course.
Well, I think we probably want to divulge the information, but I don't think we want to do that before we go to a break. I talk a little bit more about Kiwanis here. Chelsea, you are currently the president.
I am.
You're not maybe about halfway through your tenure as president in that neighborhood?
About a third.
Oh.
So I'll be in this seat until October of this year, and then at that point, Wilson Powell will be stepping in as president. So the Kiwanis Club, we meet on Mondays at noon at the First United Methodist Church. You're welcome to join us today. We have a service project today. We're making Valentines for our friends over at Hearthside. But we meet every Monday. We always have food. We always have a good speaker. And it's a lot of networking, learning about the community. And then we've reach out. We have a lot of projects and donations that we do within our community. Namely, this just within the past few months that I've been president, we've passed money to the Christmas for All. And we spent some hours out there packing for some of the children. And then we just approved for our Lebanon Youth Baseball and Softball. We're going to be sponsoring both a softball team and a baseball team this year. So that's pretty exciting.
Well, the big exciting thing, I guess, happened last fall with the merger of the baseball and the
Yes.
softball, or maybe said another way, the softball came under in the same situation as the boys' baseball has been all along. Well, almost all boys' baseball. A few girls may play Little League. But the girls' softball has not had the advantage of having a civic club and all of this. And
That's
so
right.
that has changed, and you're all right there in the mix, right?
That's right. We've got Rick Smith as a proud member of ours, and he keeps us up to date with all the doings with baseball and now softball.
All right, let me tell everybody Chelsea Nice is here, who is president of the Kiwanis Club of Lebanon, and we have Melinda Bounds, and we have Ryan Woodall, who are co-chairs for the Kiwanis Celebrity Roast. And we're going to find out who's going to get roasted after we go to a break right here. And after this, we come back from the break. You don't want to miss it, so stay with us right here on FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota. Premium brands require premium parts and service. Contact Absolute Kubota's Elite Certified Service Department to schedule an appointment. 1506 West Main, 449-6171. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still crowded over here in a couple of spots. They did finally move that wreck over to the side. Briley Parkway northbound at Lebanon Pike. Traffic's really heavy coming up through the Hickory Hollow area on 24 westbound. In from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. It's still struggling at times down through Millersville, 65 southbound. I still see slow traffic at times on Vietnam Vets westbound at Conference Drive, trying to get on that ramp there to 65 going south, headed down towards Madison. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken has you covered with catering for the big game coming up. Check them out online at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
1.5 seconds left, no timeouts. Here's your season. Negron gives it to Bird. Bird for the win. It's gone. He did it! College Hoops is back, and so is Cumberland University on the radio. Join me, John Boyce, in the booth for every Mid-South Conference game this regular and postseason for both men's and women's Phoenix basketball. Conference games are every Thursday starting at 5:30 and every Saturday starting at 1 o'clock. Phoenix basketball is right here on 98.9. Cumberland's a winner.
To be honest with you, I'm surprised.
And we welcome you to our final segment of Coleman and Company here on a Monday morning. I've already told you that we have Chelsea Nice, we have Melinda Bounds, we have Ryan Woodall, and now we have Sam Hatcher. Sam, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you?
I don't even know what's going on here for sure myself, but you've been sitting in the background over behind my back here for the first 10 minutes or so. Good morning to you and welcome again.
Thank you.
It's always good to have you in whatever capacity. You have been such a player, let's say, in our community for all these years, and still are an active one, although I don't know what all you're doing all the time, but you do tell me you get up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You don't waste time.
I try not to. Of course, Ryan and I were talking about this earlier. Of course, I go to bed at 8:30 and 9 o'clock too at night to get up at that hour, of course.
Well, for those who don't know, Sam was with the Lebanon Democrat for years and years, newspaper guy. He's done about it all that has to do with the newspaper, except maybe owning one. I'm not sure about that. But what are you here for this morning?
Well, I am here because of these three people that you have sitting around me, and they've invited me to get myself roasted. I'm not sure that I'm up for this, but I'm prepared. Let me say that.
Okay. I only found out now because I thought y'all confused me. And anyway, the rumor was that it was going to be a lady who was roasted.
I am not a lady.
So you're it.
I am it. And I've selected, and they have agreed, 4 people to say things about me, and I picked 4 that I'm hopeful will not be so unkind in public.
Well, are you going to reveal them this morning?
I can.
Well, I guess now is good as any. Sam Hatcher is going to be roasted. What's the date again?
March 26th.
At the
Capitol Theater at 5:30.
Tickets are available, $65, I believe you said. You
for
can
individual
get them
tickets.
online. You have tables available. you maybe need to see a Kiwanis if you want a table there at the Capitol Theater.
That's correct.
And you're ready for this.
I think so. And as
I recall, wasn't it Dr. Stum and you were one of the roastees?
That's exactly right, Coleman. That's good. Yeah.
I just hope the people that you have selected to roast you are as articulate, as fun, as whatever probing as you were with Dr. Stum. You even told about some of his driving habits.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the truth of the matter is, I'm going to give him a chance to get even. So Dr. Stum, Paul Stum, will be one of my roasters. A second one will be a friend of mine, and I put that in quotes, friend, because you don't know how long a friendship's going to last when you're involved in a roast. But a friend of mine who actually lives in Hendersonville, practices law in Nashville, a man by the name of Charles Bone, and he's related to many of our Bones here in Wilson County, and he's going to be a roaster. And then I have sort of an unusual situation with two daughters. Kaylin Dennis and Kara Sprouse. And they have agreed to be my other roasters, and I think they will be sharing the 10 minutes or so together that they would be on stage to roast me.
Well, I'm thinking 10 minutes, they'd just get started.
Yeah. I'm afraid they're going to have a lot of material from what everybody tells me. But, what I've told the roasters, I said, you need to be aware that I get the closing remarks as best I remember. And I know something about every one of these. So, I can have my shot too,
I understand that when the original thing started years ago that the library did, George Harding insisted that whoever, and he might have even been the first one, I done forgot, but whoever, that they always had an opportunity for rebuttal. They had the final word. So that kind of makes it even.
That's exactly right.
It ought to be a great evening, and you have, knowing some of your history, Sam, there are a lot of areas that people can come. It's not just the newspaper thing. You went to Castle Heights. You've been in Lebanon all your life. Your family had a clothing store here, John Hatcher's Clothing at one time. I guess there are a lot of areas people can come at you from.
I think you're exactly right. Terry Ash, when he was sheriff, he once said that if they found my body somewhere, he would know where to look. There'd be so many suspects out there. So,
well, what time does this start? And do you want to talk about the meal a little bit here, because that's an important part too, as you enjoy meeting everybody and eating and getting all primed for the big moments coming up.
Sure. Yeah. So, like I said, the doors open at 5:30. The meal will be at 6. This year, Houston's from Mount Juliet will be catering. We've used them in the past, and they've done a great job. So it will be a plated meal this year, so you can sit down, have a good conversation. Don't have to worry about getting in line for buffet. We'll take care of all that for you. So you'll enjoy a dinner and dessert, and get to sit there and conversate.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Chelsea. You might have mentioned this a little bit earlier, but this is a fundraiser, and the money goes for some good causes. Do you know ahead of time, or is this just part of maybe other funds that are raised by Kiwanis? How does that work?
This is really our primary fundraiser now. We have some wonderful donors that give us funds along the way, but this is our primary fundraiser. We try not to ask for money too much. So before this came to be, the Kiwanis Club used to have the pancake breakfast, which was a whole lot of work for our members, a whole lot of griddles and all of those things. And so this has really elevated the funds that we make, and then then what we can do with the funds on the back end. So the past 3 years, we've been averaging all over $12,000 net out of this, and out of those funds, it allows us to do the service projects like what we're doing today. We've helped with the library. We've donated funds to the Child Advocacy Center here in town. And we've also, every Monday, whenever a speaker comes in, we donate a book on their behalf to the Lebanon Special School District. So that's been an exciting thing we've done the past 2 years. So we try to be good stewards of the money along the way, but making sure that those will stay within our town.
Okay, so not only are you having fun at Sam Hatcher's expense this year, but you're helping some charitable organizations. It's all for a good cause. Now, Ryan, you and Melinda surely have taken this seriously. Were you the two primarily who decided who is going to be roasted?
Yes, it was a joint decision, and
we didn't really lead up maybe properly to this, so we can do it right now. Kind of what lent you to think of Sam Hatcher?
Well, Sam is Mr. Renaissance Man. He's got his hands in everything, and he knows a lot of people. And like you mentioned, not just here in Lebanon, Wilson County. I mean, one of his roastees is from Hendersonville, and we just felt like he, first off, needed to be roasted, and but secondly, that because he is so well known, and we want everybody to show their appreciation for Sam and how much he's done and all the different things that he's done.
Well, now I'm wondering, is there a requirement that whoever is roasted is responsible for so many tickets being sold?
No, but
I think 50%.
We know that we don't have to worry about that. Well, I don't think with Sam.
I'm just trying to start the roast early.
Thank you, Coleman. I think you're getting out of your area here now.
Well, I have been there. I was one of how many that the library did years ago. It is an honor. And you do. Hopefully, you have somewhat of a thick skin, because just about anything is open. It's open for. But again, you have the last word. So, and I think you're pretty good with the last word too, Sam.
Well, I hope so. I've already been making some notes, so put my roasters, let my roasters beware that I've got notes, and I can come back pretty strong.
Well, is the order that you gave them, will that be the order that it will go?
Not necessarily. No, not necessarily.
Just come and find out.
Yep.
But one of them is Dr. Paul Stump.
Yes, sir.
And I think that in itself, between you and him, the dialogue back and forth that we will hear that night will probably be worth the price of admission.
Hopefully.
And I don't know Mr. Bone, Charles Bone, but he's a dear friend, you said?
He's a good friend. He's an attorney. He's related to the Bone family here in Lebanon, and a lot of people know him. He's a former member of the Board of Trust at Cumberland, and he and I have been friends for 35 or 40 years probably. I think he actually served, and I may get this wrong, but I believe he was a treasurer for Bob Rochelle when he ran for the state senate, maybe the first time. I may have that wrong, but he's got a lot of close connections in Wilson County.
Okay, and these two,
the two ladies are the daughters, and they are very well spoken, and they've already prepared me that they've got a lot of material, so they will be, I think, pretty exciting.
Whether you snore at night.
Maybe.
Well, it promises to be a great evening. And Melinda, you and Ryan, I'm not sure we've let you have your fair share here this morning, but no doubt you've put a lot of time and effort and away from your jobs as bankers to come up with this. But was it very difficult? Did you have to twist Sam's arm at all?
No.
No.
We just had to kidnap him.
He said, "Let me think on it," and I think he talked to me the next day and said, "Yeah, I'll do it." You know.
Well, it's all a fundraiser for the Kiwanis Club of Lebanon,
and Chelsea has very excellently told us about what this is all about. But the fact that you can raise quite a bit of money with one and not have to have a pancake breakfast and work so hard. That's been nice as well. Ryan, anything you want to say before we go? Got about a minute and a half here.
Sure. I would like to take just a second to recognize our title sponsor.
Okay.
And our title sponsor has been the title sponsor for this event for the last 2 years. And we would like to give a nice shout out to Middle Tennessee Electric. They've been very gracious on being our title sponsor the last 2 years, and we're very excited to announce that they will be our title sponsor for this year.
Very good. And Melinda?
Well, and we do have some other sponsorship opportunities available. So if anybody's interested in that, just reach out to one of the Kiwanians. We'll be happy to fill them in on what is available. We've got several other sponsors already taken care of, or sponsorships already taken care of, but we've got other things available.
Okay, to quickly wrap up, the roastie this year is going to be Sam Hatcher, and it's going to be at the Capitol Theater. The date again?
March 26th. And the doors will open at 5:30, dinner's at 6, and the show's at 6:45.
Right. Tickets are $65. You buy a table, it's how much?
$550 for individual tables, and then $750 for if you want some sponsorship.
All right. Well, thank you all for being with us today. It's been great to find all this out, and I'm glad you do it here on Coleman and Company. And thank you for listening. Join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a magnificent day.